Hi, I'm Anthony.
I'm Bruce.
Uh, Thanks for watching the podcast. This episode is sponsored by Baked Cookie Cafe. So go to comegetbaked.com with us. That's where we're at right now. They have XXL cookies, obviously, because you can fucking read it. Cookies as big as your head, and if you needed me to narrate that for you. They have this delicious food, like all this baked shit.
Looks like diabetes. That's a challenge for me.
You fuck with it?
Fuck yeah.
I fuck with it. So you can go there to 4502 Central School Road, St. Charles, Missouri, and their hours look fucking awesome. The weekends are open till midnight. They deliver. They have so much fucking food. This is like torture for me. Like looking at this right now.
Correct. I want to go get cookies right now.
Let's go. You want to go get cookies? Let's go. I'm gonna go right now. So, welcome to the greatest podcast in the known universe. We have my friend Bruce is here.
What up?
We have Danny from High Times. How you doing, man?
Good, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. So what kind of fucking job is High Times? Like, is it like awesome or?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's a lot of work, there's a lot of deadlines, a lot of things you got to get done, but, the perks are pretty amazing.
Does everybody just give you weed all the time?
It happens mostly when I'm traveling, not so much when I'm home in New York City, but when I'm traveling to different events and stuff, yeah, for sure. I get to try all the different, things that people have in different regions, which is one of the most special parts of the job is meeting people in all these different parts of the world when we all share this kind of, cannabis-related culture.
That's fucking dope, man. Oh,
yeah.
So you wrote a book called How to Grow Marijuana?
Yeah, it's called Cannabis: A Beginner's Guide to Growing Marijuana. It's my second book. The first book was the High Times Field Guide to Marijuana Strains in 2011. And this one, I really wanted to just get people growing. I think everyone's a little worried about where legalization is going and what that means and all the corporations and all the changes. And I think as long as we retain our right to grow our own, we can sort of weather that storm and all those changes pretty decently.
It's fucking true, man. Would I be able to grow it in something like this? Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you've got light, as long as you got a light source, food for the plants and all that, you can grow almost anywhere. It's pretty amazing. I've seen everything from the tiniest little, closet grow to now, 1 million square feet grow in Canada, where it's just as far as the eye can see.
Where can I buy your book at?
Well, it's available on Amazon and at some bookstores and stuff, but Amazon's probably the easiest place to buy it.
Cool. I'm going to buy 5 copies after this interview.
Oh, awesome.
Just personally.
That's great. I appreciate it.
No problem. You have any questions, Bruce?
Oh, where's the coolest place you've smoked weed at?
Wow. The coolest place. I mean, I'd say, in Barcelona at the top of a mountain overlooking the city was pretty amazing. In Vancouver Island, also kind of at the top of a mountain with a lot of different sort of geological formations around. That was pretty cool. So, it's really so much about the travel, and even, backstage at Bonnaroo with Cypress Hill and Damian Marley, things like that too, where you just look around thinking like, wow, how did I end up here, in this place? These people having fun and sharing cannabis, which is really, part of the joy of it all.
I was hoping you had smoked weed on top of a mountain somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always fun. And, over the years, I've been with High Times almost 17 years now, full time. So, we've seen a lot of changes, but certainly gotten to experience cannabis in some pretty amazing places.
That's fucking awesome. That's cool, man. So are you guys hiring or?
They're always looking for people. I mean, and people ask me how to get a job in the industry, and I always tell them, just get your foot in the door, solve somebody's problems, make someone else's job easier. The easiest way with media is to freelance, write articles, turn in work, and, help editors create content. And after a while, they come to need you more than you need them at a certain point. They start asking. So, it's kind of counterintuitive to sometimes tell people, well, you got to give stuff away for free for a little while, but it actually works sometimes, just to get your foot in the door and gain the experience of knowing, what people are looking for. It's tough sometimes to predict what's going to stick or what's going to go viral. Sometimes it just takes being there and putting in the work.
Cool. So when do I start?
But yeah, I don't know if we're hiring. When do we start?
Yeah, when do I start?
First, you have to fail a drug test.
Perfect. I've been practicing that. That's awesome, man. It sounds like you have the I feel like if somebody asked me in like high school what I want to do, I'd probably be like, I want to be this guy. I want to fucking work with. It sounds like a dope ass publication to work with, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's certainly fun, but like I said, there's deadlines that are constant. So if people think, oh, they just smoke weed all day and sit around having fun, I mean, to a certain extent, that's true. But to an extent, there's always stuff that has to get done. There's always work that needs to be, and you got to be valuable and useful in the industry in one way or another. And I've always just pushed growing and cultivation and people knowing their strains and knowing what works for them, whether it's medical or recreational or whatever, for whatever purposes.
That's awesome. Do you grow weed right now?
Actually, you know what? Lately, I've just been traveling too much to really have any sort of project going on at home. But we always do the occasional, throw some plants outdoors and just hope something comes up. But lately, I've just been traveling too much to do too much of that. But I do consulting. I do. I see a lot of gardens. Obviously, I'm in a lot of places lately. So I see a lot of different techniques that people are using, and so I spend a lot of my time basically visiting other people's gardens, more so lately than growing my own.
That's awesome. Where are some places you're going to right now, like travel-wise?
Well, California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, for places in the U.S. Recently got to go to Hawaii, which was pretty amazing to see. They've always had a pretty cool cannabis culture there as well. But overseas, I would say, Canada, different parts of Canada, Spain, Amsterdam, of course. I'd love to go to South America, Asia. There's a lot of places I haven't been. Australia, I'd really love to see. So basically anywhere where people, create and consume cannabis is a place I'd love to visit. And then there's places that are just not on the list because of their laws, like Indonesia, where you can still get the death penalty for, a gram of weed. It's pretty amazing that we're living in this time when there's just so much, such a vast difference in how this plant is being treated by different countries and even different states within our own country.
That is crazy, man. Canada's legal this month, I think, like completely.
That's right. That's right. And, there's lots of big gardens, like I said, where you can get, this mass-produced cannabis, but then you also have the option with the law of growing your 4 plants or your 8 plants per household. And, there's no law. The law limits the amount of your plants, but it doesn't limit the size of those plants. So you can grow big, huge plants, And that's kind of what I encourage people to do.
That's hilarious. Well, we're going to take a break for a second. We'll be right back with Danny Danko from High Times. Hey, I'm Anthony.
I'm Bruce.
We want to tell you about your roof. People have been talking, and you're going to need a better roof.
Your roof sucks.
Their entire neighborhood knows your roof sucks. So get a free roof inspection.
Yeah, fucking free roof inspection.
I'm drunk. But anyway, free roof inspection for TNT Roofing. We're gonna do a promo code. Tell them that you talked to Bruce and Anthony. You talked to both of us from Anthony Rogers Presents, the podcast that you're fucking watching. Tell them you got this. Get a free roof inspection. Figure your shit out. So you can get a better deal. I mean, we're trying to help you out.
Oh, yeah. All the information's right there in front of you.
Yeah, you can fucking read it. So,
right.
Buy a roof. Tell them we sent you.
One.
Welcome back to the greatest podcast ever. How you been, man? How are you doing during the break?
Very good. Very good.
Good, man. Good. We missed you. We missed you a lot. How many copies of the book have sold so far?
It just started selling September 1st, so I'm not quite sure. I know I personally bought like over 500 myself just to sell and sign and bring to different events and things that I'm doing. So yeah, and I think they printed over 10,000 copies. So
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
hoping, we'll sell that out and go to a second printing. And the more that are out there, the more I think people will learn the wonderful hobby of cultivation.
No doubt, man. That's an awesome. Yeah, it's good. It's a good idea, man. You probably sell a lot of these in like California, Colorado, Oregon area, probably mostly.
Yeah, but like I said, Canada and other places, all throughout North America right now, we're selling them. And actually, when I look at Amazon, they tell you like different states, and I'm selling them in New York and Rhode Island and Connecticut. So really, in the Midwest, all over, people are interested in learning about how to do this, even if they don't necessarily have the legal right to do it just yet.
Weird. Yeah, I was waiting for weed to go legal so we could finally try it. Like we're like we're like hoping we're like it's almost federally legal. I can almost try weed for the first time. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Isn't that gonna be exciting for America?
Absolutely. All the people who can finally partake.
Yeah, it's great. I wonder what it's gonna be like.
Probably pretty close to the way it's always has been already, except we've had to hide, and now hopefully we don't have to hide as much, and also we don't lose as much. There's a stigma associated with cannabis that doesn't exist for booze or all these other things, and it's got to go. It's really rough on people, and that stigma, even though people take it lightly, actually affects people's lives in a very big way. I mean, as far as people getting transplants and people's houses being raided and being separated from their families, all because of this healing, harmless plant. It's really crazy. So that's kind of been my mission, just to sort of free the flower and get it to a level where, I'm not forcing it on anybody, right? I mean, it's not for everybody, but it certainly can help people. And if it's helping them, I think it's a good thing. And I meet people every day who tell me that it saved their life. So, it's something I believe in and something I think more people could benefit from.
That's fucking awesome, man. Yeah, I agree. I think you definitely got real for a second. I think you're right, man. People being incarcerated, definitely it's a huge stigma in society. I imagine, man, it's fucked up. Like,
well, if you have basic possessions,
yeah, I mean, at high times we hear the stories of it helping people, but we also hear the stories of prohibition and all the injustices and harms that have been done to people because of the law and because of this, completely false notion that this is, something that you can lump together with, opiates and all these hard drugs and even some of the legal pharmaceuticals and things. I mean, marijuana is actually safer than tobacco, safer than caffeine, safer than nicotine, safer than sugar, So in that way, it's kind of hard to find something that's safer.
Plus, it's awesome. It's just fucking awesome. Like, I mean, like on top of like it's just like doing a bunch of like medical things. It's just a fucking great like thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and just like anything else, you don't want to do it 24 hours a day necessarily, but it really depends on what type of life you're living and what you want to get accomplished and all of that. But if people claim that it makes them lazy, I say those people were already lazy to begin with.
Yeah.
They're using marijuana as an excuse in a lot of ways because some of the most productive people I've met are daily consumers.
I'm high right now, and I'm talking to a guy from High Times. Like, I mean, like, where's this commercial at? You know what I mean? It's like maybe if you smoke weed enough, you can talk to dope people on podcasts. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There need to be like a pro commercial. We always hear about like the kid trying to fly or something. Like he smoked 3 blunts and he tried to fly off the roof. You're right. He's probably already stupid. You know what I mean? Like weed. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like
there's,
I don't know. I feel like I'm stoned right now. And this podcast is going well. I'm not. It's not fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I like I said, it's something I believe in. It's really become a mission. It started off as something that was fun and interesting and exciting, and it really became, an all-consuming mission because of all the changes that we wanted this team made, and we've seen a lot. Things have changed a lot. There's a long way to go.
I mean, just in the time your magazine's been around, man, it's fucking changed a lot. You know what I mean? It was like totally illegal back in the day, man. That's crazy. Like to where it's come now, man. It's awesome. Hopefully like LSD's next or something, you know?
Certainly, there's a lot of discoveries happening with psychedelic research when it comes to things like overcoming grief, couples therapy, end of life issues, post traumatic stress. Psychedelics, psilocybin, LSD, ayahuasca, DMT. These are things that expand consciousness and can heal the mind and the body. So I think it's really important, that we study it and that we find out more about it. And used in proper settings, I think the set and the setting are so important. But there's a lot to be uncovered and still discovered about a lot of different psychoactive products that are out there, or healing. That
fucking definitely, man. Yeah, I try to study it as much as I can. Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's important to explore inner space as much as outer space.
Definitely, man. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, man. Your info is like in if you want to buy 5 books, if you're watching this, you want to buy 5 books as well. It's in the description of the YouTube video if you're watching it, or on the website if you're watching it. Buy as many copies of his books as you can. They're great to have around the house.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I have a podcast called Free Weed if people want to check that out as well. We're on our 103rd episode, I think, and everywhere where you can find podcasts, we're out there too. Just trying to educate people about mostly cultivation, but some activism and some celebrity stuff as well. So news, a little bit of everything.
Dope. Well,
yeah.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.